The moment Mat Armstrong began revealing more details about the damaged Bugatti rebuild, something unexpected happened. Bugatti suddenly went completely silent. No public support, no technical guidance, and no official response as millions of viewers watched one of the world's most expensive hypercars being rebuilt outside the company's control. What started as a bold YouTube project quickly turned into a global automotive controversy. Fans began questioning whether Bugatti was worried about its reputation, its engineering secrets, or the possibility that an independent creator could achieve what many believed only factory engineers could do. Every new episode increased the pressure, exposing just how difficult and expensive the rebuild truly was. But instead of stopping, Mat Armstrong pushed even harder, transforming the project from simple entertainment into a battle between corporate perfection and independent determination. The silence from Bugatti only made the story more powerful. To viewers, it felt like the world's most exclusive car company was watching from the shadows, while one man attempted the impossible in front of millions. And with every bolt tightened, every damaged carbon fiber panel repaired, and every obstacle overcome, the rebuild became bigger than just a car. It became proof that passion, risk, and persistence can challenge even the most untouchable names in the automotive world. The silence surrounding the Bugatti rebuild only made the internet louder. Every time Mat Armstrong uploaded a new video, millions of viewers rushed to watch. Not because they expected success, but because they expected disaster. Most people believed the car was beyond repair from the very beginning. This was not an ordinary supercar, sitting in a garage waiting for new parts. This was a heavily damaged Bugatti Chiron, a machine worth millions of dollars, built with some of the most advanced engineering in automotive history. Many experts openly said the rebuild could never happen outside the factory. Others claimed the electronics alone would stop the project forever. But Mat Armstrong kept moving forward step by step, turning doubt into fuel. The deeper he went into the rebuild, the more mysterious Bugatti's silence became. Fans began asking the same question repeatedly. Why will the world's biggest luxury car manufacturers refuse to publicly acknowledge one of the most watched automotive rebuilds on the internet? As the project continued, the pressure became enormous. Every single part on the Bugatti seemed designed to create another impossible challenge. Tiny bolts cost unbelievable amounts of money. Specialized components required factory-level calibration. Carbon fiber repairs demanded precision that few mechanics in the world could perform correctly. Even transporting certain parts became a nightmare because of how rare and valuable they were. Yet despite all this, the rebuild kept progressing. That is what shocked people most. The internet had seen crashed supercars repaired before, but nothing on this level. A Bugatti represents perfection, exclusivity, and engineering dominance. The company carefully controls every aspect of ownership, service, and maintenance. Owners often relied directly on factory-approved technicians. So when an independent YouTuber started rebuilding one publicly for millions to see, it challenged the image of complete factory control that brands like Bugatti work so hard to maintain. Viewers became obsessed with every update because the project no longer felt like normal automotive content. It felt like a live battle between determination and impossibility. Every episode ended with new problems. Sometimes critical parts would not fit properly. Sometimes hidden damage appeared unexpectedly. Other times electronic systems refused to communicate. But instead of hiding the setbacks, Mat Armstrong showed everything openly. That honesty became one of the biggest reasons people connected with the project emotionally. Viewers watched the frustration, the sleepless nights, and the uncertainty in real time. They saw mistakes happen. They saw expensive failures. They saw moments where the rebuild looked completely hopeless. And because of that transparency, the audience became deeply invested in the journey. Meanwhile, Bugatti's silence continued creating speculation online. Some people believed the company was angry that the rebuild was happening publicly without factory approval. Others believed Bugatti feared the project could damage the brand if the repaired car failed dramatically. There were also theories that the company simply did not want to encourage independent rebuilds of hypercars designed with extremely strict safety requirements. In reality, no one fully knew the answer because Bugatti refused to publicly engage with the situation. But that silence created even more attention. The less the company said, the more the internet discussed the story. Automotive forums exploded with debates. YouTube comment sections filled with arguments. Some defended Bugatti's caution, while others praised Mat Armstrong for challenging the traditional system. The rebuild also exposed how complicated modern hypercars have become. Many people imagine expensive cars are simply faster versions of normal vehicles, but projects like this reveal an entirely different reality. The Bugatti is closer to a rolling piece of aerospace engineering than a standard automobile. Every system inside the car is interconnected. Aerodynamics, suspension, cooling, electronics, and structural integrity all work together with extreme precision. One damaged area can affect countless other systems. Even small mistakes during repairs can create dangerous consequences at high speeds. That is why manufacturers guard their engineering so carefully. Watching someone attempt to rebuild such a machine outside factory conditions fascinated audiences because it felt almost impossible from an engineering perspective alone. Weeks turned into months. The rebuild evolved into something much bigger than YouTube entertainment. It became symbolic. Many viewers saw the project as proof that modern manufacturers have too much control over products once they are sold. The rebuild started conversations about repair rights, ownership freedom, and corporate restrictions. People questioned why owners should depend entirely on manufacturers for repairs. Others argue that companies like Bugatti have legitimate reasons for protecting their technology and safety standards. This debate transformed the story into more than just a car rebuild. It became a reflection of larger tensions between independent creators and powerful corporations in the digital age. At the same time, the emotional side of the story continued growing stronger. Viewers were not just watching a mechanic fix a damaged vehicle anymore. They were watching someone gamble everything on a dream that most people considered impossible. Every repaired panel represented persistence. Every solved problem represented defiance against doubt. The rebuild became deeply personal for the audience because they saw a reflection of their own struggles inside the journey. People facing impossible situations in their own lives connected with the determination behind the project. That emotional connection helped transform the series into one of the most talked about automotive stories on the internet. The financial risk alone made the project shocking. Every mistake could cost thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. One damaged component could completely destroy progress. Unlike normal rebuilds where replacement parts are relatively accessible, Bugatti parts are extremely rare and incredibly expensive. Some components are almost impossible to obtain without factory involvement, yet somehow the project continued moving forward. That persistence created suspense in every episode because viewers genuinely did not know whether success was possible. Most rebuild series eventually become predictable, but this project constantly felt uncertain. Even experienced automotive experts admitted they were unsure whether the car would ever drive properly again. As the rebuild progressed further, public interest only increased. News websites, automotive blogs, and social media pages began discussing the project constantly. Some praised Mat Armstrong for pushing automotive content to another level. Others criticized the rebuild as reckless and irresponsible. But whether people supported or opposed the project, almost everyone agreed on one thing. They could not stop watching. That level of attention turned the Bugatti rebuild into a phenomenon. It demonstrated the power of digital creators in modern media. A single YouTuber with enough passion and audience support was generating global discussion around one of the world's most prestigious automotive brands. The mystery surrounding Bugatti's silence remained one of the most fascinating parts of the story. In many ways, the silence itself became more powerful than any statement could have been. Had the company openly criticized the rebuild, the controversy might have faded quickly. Had they publicly supported it, much of the tension would have disappeared. But by remaining silent, Bugatti unintentionally created an atmosphere of mystery and speculation that fueled endless online discussion. Every new update reignited the same questions. Was the company secretly watching? Were they concerned about the outcome? Did they believe the rebuild would ultimately fail? Or were they simply refusing to acknowledge something outside their strict corporate systems? For Mat Armstrong, the rebuild became the ultimate test of reputation and skill. Millions of people were watching every decision closely. Any major failure could instantly become global news online. The pressure must have been enormous. Yet instead of backing away from the challenge, he continued documenting every step openly. That confidence inspired many viewers because it represented a willingness to take risks publicly despite the possibility of failure. In an online world where many creators carefully protect their image, showing real struggles and uncertainty made the series feel authentic. The deeper viewers looked into the story, the clearer it became that the rebuild represented two completely different worlds colliding. On one side stood Bugatti, a brand built on perfection, exclusivity, and factory-controlled precision. On the other side stood independent digital creativity, open, unpredictable, experimental, and driven by passion rather than corporate systems. That contrast created drama far beyond the car itself. People were not just choosing sides in a rebuild anymore. They were choosing between two different philosophies about innovation, ownership, and creativity. Even after countless setbacks, the rebuild kept advancing. Slowly, the impossible began looking possible. Systems started functioning again. Parts returned to life. The damaged hypercar slowly transformed from wreckage into something recognizable. Each moment shocked viewers because few believed the project would survive this long. But that is exactly what made the story so powerful. It constantly challenged expectations. Every completed repair forced critics to reconsider what independent creators are capable of achieving. In the end, Bugatti's silence may have unintentionally created one of the most captivating automotive stories the internet has ever seen. The absence of official responses allowed mystery, speculation, and public fascination to grow beyond anyone's expectations. What started as a dangerous rebuild became a symbol of determination, risk, and ambition. Millions watched because they were witnessing more than a damaged car being repaired. They were witnessing one-man challenge limitations that many believed could never be overcome. And whether the automotive world liked it or not, the project proved something undeniable. Passion and persistence can sometimes shake even the most untouchable names in the industry. But the deeper the rebuild went, the more dangerous the situation became. At first, many people saw the project as exciting entertainment. But over time, viewers began realizing the true scale of what Mat Armstrong was dealing with. This was not simply about replacing broken body panels or installing a new engine component. Every system inside the Bugatti was connected to highly advanced software and engineering designed specifically for extreme performance. Even the smallest miscalculation could destroy parts worth more than entire luxury cars. That reality created constant tension throughout the rebuild because every success felt temporary. One wrong move could instantly turn months of progress into disaster. The internet became divided into two groups. One side believed Mat Armstrong was proving that independent creators could accomplish things once reserved only for manufacturers. To them, the rebuild represented freedom, innovation, and determination. But the other side believed Bugatti had every right to stay silent and avoid involvement. They argued that hypercars are built under strict safety standards for a reason. A Bugatti is capable of extreme speeds that leave almost no room for mechanical failure. If even one repair component failed while driving at high speed, the consequences could be catastrophic. This debate added another layer of intensity to the story because suddenly the rebuild was no longer just about fixing a car. It was about responsibility. As the pressure grew, so did public expectations. Millions of viewers now expected every episode to contain something shocking. The audience wanted bigger breakthroughs, bigger problems, and bigger emotional moments. That pressure can destroy many creators, especially when projects become expensive and unpredictable. Yet somehow, Mat Armstrong continued delivering updates that kept viewers emotionally attached. Every new obstacle made the story feel even more dramatic. One episode would reveal unexpected structural damage hidden deep inside the chassis. Another would expose problems with electronics that seemed impossible to solve without factory tools. The audience watched the rebuild evolve into a psychological battle just as much as a mechanical one. What made the series so addictive was the uncertainty. Most automotive projects follow a familiar pattern. Damaged car arrives, repairs begin, problems get solved, and eventually the vehicle returns to the road. But this rebuild constantly felt different because nobody truly knew if success was possible. Even experienced mechanics watching the series admitted they were shocked by how complicated the process had become. Every time progress appeared close, another hidden challenge emerged. That unpredictability kept millions returning because they were watching history unfold in real time rather than scripted entertainment. At the center of all this attention was Bugatti's continued silence. The company never fully entered the conversation publicly, yet their presence was felt in every episode. Viewers constantly analyzed what the silence might mean. Some believed Bugatti wanted the rebuild to fail quietly, so it would reinforce the idea that only factory-approved repairs are safe. Others believed the company simply did not want to give publicity to an independent rebuild that bypassed its tightly controlled ecosystem. But regardless of the reason, the silence created an almost cinematic atmosphere around the project. It felt as though one side was speaking constantly, while the other watched in the shadows. The rebuild also revealed something important about modern internet culture. Years ago, stories like this would never have reached a global audience. A damaged hypercar would simply disappear into a private workshop, where only a few experts would ever see it. But platforms like YouTube changed everything. Now millions of people could witness every challenge, every failure, and every breakthrough in real time. That level of transparency transformed ordinary repairs into worldwide entertainment. It also changed how audiences connect with creators. Viewers no longer just watched the rebuild. They emotionally experienced it alongside the creator himself. Many people underestimated how emotionally exhausting the project must have been behind the scenes. Cameras only capture certain moments, but projects of this scale consume lives completely. The pressure of public expectations, massive financial risks, and constant uncertainty can become overwhelming. Every episode represented countless hours of stress that viewers never fully saw. There were likely moments where the entire rebuild felt impossible even to the people working on it. But those moments of struggle became part of what made the story inspiring.